Just how far would you go to get rid of your excruciating 24-hour-a-day pain?
Some patients are risking their lives choosing to be put into a coma in the hopes of waking up pain-free. The Night Team's Lynn Martinez has tonight's special assignment report, Counting on a Coma.
At just 21 years old, Jessica Stevens is willing to risk dying over living the life she has now.
And I live in a hospital bed. I don't get to do anything, and it's not a life.
Her skin is dotted with sores, and every inch of her small body constantly burns with pain.
I describe it sometimes as having acid thrown onto my legs. Feels like my head has been smacked against the wall.
There have been times I've asked God, let me have the pain even for one day.
She has to wear sunglasses and headphones to block out most light and sound.
I hear things probably 30 times louder than they really are, and lights have thrown me into seizures.
Up until a few years ago, Jessica was a healthy and active teenager, but a trip to summer camp changed everything.
I was bitten by a tick, contracted Lyme disease, and all my problems started from there.
Doctors think the Lyme disease triggered a neurological disorder called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or RSD. RSD can be sparked by any sort of injury and targets the nervous system, essentially causing the nerves to malfunction and send constant pain signals to the brain.
And one of the characteristic symptoms is burning pain, unbearable burning pain.
There is no cure for the disease. Doctors typically treat it with powerful painkillers, which often do not work. Jessica's last hope is a radical and dangerous treatment. She's choosing to be put into a coma with hopes of waking up pain-free.
It is radical and it is scary, but the thought of remaining in this condition for possibly the rest of my life is a hell of a lot more scary than going under any treatment in the world.
They bite everybody.
It is called coma therapy, but it is not approved by the FDA in the United States. So Jessica is traveling to Monterrey, Mexico, as part of a research study.
That's enough. Miracle is happening.
Doctors will pump her full of a drug called ketamine, which is an anesthetic and hallucinogenic drug.
The amount of ketamine we use in just one patient is the amount of ketamine the hospital would use, a major medical center would use in a whole year.
Sweet dreams, Jessica. You're going to make it out of this, honey.
Patients are in the coma for 5 to 7 days, kept alive by life support. While they're unconscious, doctors believe the brain shuts down and then, like a computer, reboots itself.
By shutting the brain down and letting it come back online, there can be healing that takes place, not just in terms of pain, but in terms of the body as a whole.
About 100 pain patients have joined this coma research study. More than half have ended up pain-free. But doctors admit it is risky.
There's no doubt about it that the ketamine coma study is dangerous. Patients may not wake up from it.
And if they do emerge from the coma, it can be horrifying.
They can have hallucinations, terrifying hallucinations. Not always, but can happen.
Shannon Stalker was one of the first pain patients to be put into this ketamine coma several years ago.
I was in pain all the time. It was as if somebody had poured gasoline on me and lit me on fire.
Shannon's husband captured her on home video while she was unconscious and watched as she emerged with terrifying hallucinations.
Almost like she was a child about to go into a nightmare that she knew she was going into. She'd look at me and say, "They're coming on, make them stop."
Soon, the hallucinations disappeared, and something miraculous happened. Most of Shannon's pain was gone.
Come back to Mama.
She returned to a normal life and has even given birth to a baby girl.
Life is better than I ever could have dreamed it could have been.
And that's exactly what Jessica and her family are hoping will happen to her.
And very easily, just from going into a coma, you could slip away. But that's the risk I'm willing to take to have a life again.
And that would be a life without pain. Lynn Martinez, 7 News.
Well, we've learned that Jessica did come out of that coma, but is having some complications. She suffered memory loss and at one point didn't remember who she was. Her memory has returned, but she's now experiencing problems with her vision. Doctors hope Jessica will be able to leave the hospital in Mexico in a few months. If you want to follow Jessica's journey, you can find a link to her blog at